People can tell what kind of underwear I'm
Oh
wearing.
my.
I just went to the bathroom too, my fly's probably open.
And there's the intro. All right, so we're here to talk about blue, one of our favorite subjects.
So a build video, but not like the normal ones we do because...
You can't have this one.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
You can't have this one. We actually get to keep this one, keep driving it, keep ripping it. We get to do, you know, rowdy things with it. We're not worried about preserving the paint. Just a lot of pluses to blue, and it's
I mean, I want to keep the paint the way it is. People always ask me actually if we're going to paint it, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
It has paint.
One time we sanded like the rust off and then we just cleared, like sprayed clear
Just
on
little
it.
spots. It's coming back, but it stays inside. So the patina that it has is pretty much going to stay how it is. We did do a couple things that were like actual through rust on the rockers.
Yeah.
We'll talk into that. Jumping right into it, it's a 69 GMC, which
Stepside.
is Stepside. So it has a couple things, like the C10 scene is just blowing up. They're super cool trucks. This one's just a little bit different because of those two things, being a GMC and a Stepside. It has a little more character. And tell us the story. You saw blue on Bring a Trailer.
Where so many adventures start on bringatrailer.com.
The internet.
This truck, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, and this was a while back, I want to say we got this 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been years.
We saw it on Bring a Trailer, and it was just a really cool looking truck. Somebody had like started to do a full RestoMod restoration on it. They put a Vortec, I think 6-liter in it.
It had a 6-liter LS swap.
I think I paid 15 grand for this truck.
Yeah, and that's a good price in the C10 market today for a truck that was already LS swapped, running and driving. We drove
Running and driving. We drove it day one.
Yeah, in that state that it was in, it's got a lot of miles.
It had, I think, like pretty much stock suspension. It did have disc brakes, I think.
It had like factory style disc brakes.
Yeah.
It was lowered, but not really the correct way. It was just lowered.
Yeah. They had done the bed, which is a huge thing in these trucks. Like that can be just a crazy big job.
Yeah, all the bedwood.
And so the bedwood was done.
Very original. Exterior wise, it looks identical basically, other than wheels and tires, to how we got it. And that was kind of important. We loved the look of blue.
Well, we did do the doors. We did paint the logo on the doors.
That's true.
And we did the rockers.
To the guy that did all the hand lettering.
What was he, Johnny Pinstripes? He has a name that I'm forgetting right now.
Let's
fix that in post.
We'll put him in there. But let's do this like hood opening, which is a little complicated because it has your typical C10 two-handed opening. But let's get into, so we're talking about, we pulled the engine out, right? And we had already done the suspension and the brakes, and that was a really killer setup. And it was fun with the 6-liter, you know, it was no slouch. It got after it.
No, it was already a little scary with that engine in it. I mean, that, like, for how light this truck is.
Right.
And then if you don't have anything in the bed, like there's no weight over those rear tires. It's not a 4-wheel drive.
Right.
You know, it gets a little squirrely to say the least. And then we were like, that's not enough.
It's not enough. So basically it was like the option, like you said, one of our good friends had this Blueprint 427 for sale. We'd seen it run. We knew it made power. It came with a dyno sheet, verified good engine. We bought it. And then we started dressing it up for blue. So we wanted to kind of take the opportunity to make it look a little bit vintage looking. And we went ahead and painted the whole engine block like Chevy blue, which some of those older small blocks were that color. And I wanted to keep a theme of like kind of a vintage OEM look, even though it had an LS engine. You know, the retro port from FiTech was the icing on the cake as far as making it look old school. You know, we got a round air filter just like it would have if it had a carburetor, a cast aluminum intake manifold, which is what every hot rodder would have put on an old school engine. We hid the coil packs, and we left everything basically either like cast aluminum like it would have come from the factory. We got carried away. Basically, we had the engine and we're like, okay, well, let's do it. And we have all these cool companies we work with like FiTech and Blueprint, and we were able to make it look all cool, put a lot of FiTech parts on. The fuel system is all from them, so it has their surge tank here. It's a force fuel, dual pump, and Jeremy plumbed everything. It's all nicely plumbed with AN type push lock hose. So the LS engine has headers on it, like we said, the FiTech, the Holly. It's all cooled by a big aluminum radiator. We did a dual electric fan setup, put Ring Brothers hinges on it. That's something that, like I said, we got carried away.
This to me like embodies the dichotomy of Blue, which is like these are probably like $1,000 hood hinges. I think maybe 1,200 bucks. I forget what they are exactly, but they're not cheap. And very, very nice, right? Like you can obviously look at these and be like, wow, those are really cool. And then it's right next to where the owner before us decided to use house insulation foam to just spray in some of the gaps in the hood that we just, we left to kind of just tell the story of Blue. Because to me, a lot of the stuff on this truck was not just like to do it for the sake of doing it. It's just functional.
Right.
And so when we got it to function, we were like, all right, cool, we're good.
Yeah.
And just kind of kept going. So this to me is like, it kind of just encapsulates what Blue is, like just this
100%.
little part right here.
And that's the thing, like the money was spent on like the really cool stuff because we already knew the exterior was cool. We didn't need to mess with that. And then the other last thing in the engine bay you can see is obviously a Wilwood master cylinder setup. That's a manual brake setup with a Wilwood proportioning valve. And Evans CNC makes us these really cool master cylinder lids with the RestoMods logo. So
painted blue, of course.
Painted blue. So Blue got all the treatment. I've heard people say power over paint. That's what happened with Blue.
I like that.
This thing got all the go fast goodies. It's kind of wolf in sheep's clothing, and you'll see more of that when we get the truck up in the air. So we'll lift this thing up and kind of talk about where it all got carried away really on the bottom end too.
So you never see Blue from this angle, but once you do, you're like, oh.
It's beautiful.
Right.
Right.
It's like a whole different vehicle under here.
Right. All right, what did we do?
Okay. So this was like the first big upgrade was all this QA1 stuff. So this stuff has been on here for a couple thousand miles and it's holding up amazing. Had no issues with it. It completely changed the characteristics of what this truck is. It came with a different set of spindles, and so that facilitated bigger brakes. So these are very large, 14-inch rotor, very thick, vented, drilled, slotted rotors. Wilwoods, obviously, with big 6-piston calipers. But just moving front to back, some of the other things you can see that we did to Blue was she's got a cast aluminum oil pan just to button up the bottom end. We have ICT billet motor mounts. And then behind it is basically they call it an A41. It's like a beefed up 4L65E. This is from Silver Sport Transmission. It's all powered, controlled by the FiTech as well. But this thing's been bulletproof. Moving our way back, it has stainless headers. That's attached to 2.5-inch exhaust. No X-pipe or anything, which may be a future upgrade on this, but this thing sounds pretty wicked with these like straight through pipes, Flowmaster mufflers, and then the rear end. So Blue had a 12-bolt rear end when we got it, and it was an open diff, which we couldn't live with for super long. So we sent this to Pro Gear, and they did a really cool upgrade where we went ahead and welded 9-inch forward rear end axle housings on the end of the axle tube so that we could run 9-inch style forward axles and bearings, and it's just a superior bearing and end setup. And then we were able to go to Wilwood's catalog and get brakes that are just for a forward 9-inch rear end. So although we're still a 12-bolt, they upgraded it with a posi unit in here so that we can do burnouts. They went through the gear set, rebuilt everything, did that really cool modification to the housing ends. Big Wilwood brakes in the back again. So
what gear ratio did we go with in that 12-bolt?
I believe we
Ford
went
9-inch hybrid.
It's a hybrid, yeah. So I believe this is a 370 rear gear, which gives it a happy medium. Having the overdrive.
The overdrive's huge.
The overdrive's huge on the freeway. You can cruise this thing at 70, 80, and you're keeping the RPMs down. That 427 has plenty of low-end torque, so it's just a real good, comfortable setup, and it's plenty to get out of the hole on the street. This thing will just light the tires off. Either way, that's all the really cool stuff that's on Blue. Let's jump in and take this thing for a rip.
Let's do it.
All right, so now that we're driving, we can talk about drivability. Some of the upgrades in the interior, it's very minimal. I think we upgraded, obviously, the controls for the Vintage Air. We put a different steering wheel on. We still have the bench that came with it, which is super comfortable.
We also added the shoulder belts. That was another.
Oh, that's right, 3-point shoulder belts, and I'm happy we did because it feels like some semblance of safety having them, But yeah, so drivability-wise, Blue had all stock suspension when we got it. And
original stock.
Original stock.
Straight 55-year-old.
Not the best, yeah, like everything needed to be rebuilt. Things escalated. We pulled the engine out of Blue. The engine got updated. The transmission got updated.
Didn't we use the engine for something? We put it into the K10?
Yeah, it was a nice 6-liter.
Right.
But I think, so we did the suspension first.
Yes.
Thanks to QA1, they came through with some really badass suspension stuff. And I was surprised with, like, you know, just the adjustability. When we first set it up, Blue was like a full-blown race car.
It was so tight.
It was so tight and bumpy, and I'm like, you know, this is probably going to be super planted on track, but we're really not driving this car on track a lot.
Right.
So just like a shock adjustment, and now it's like you feel like you're in a more sporty handling car, but it's not beating you up really. You know, like just like a factory Silverado pretty much rides like this, but can't handle like this. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a truck. You have a kind of a little bit of a bumpy truck ride, but it's like on normal streets, like it's not like it rides like a 69. You know, you'd expect a stock truck to ride. It's
incredible to me that it's gotten to the point where it's at. Like this has got all the parts we would put on a giveaway car, basically.
Totally.
Just without the shiny paint job, which makes it like where we want to drive it a lot more because we're not worried about it.
You're not stressed about it. Like you could take this truck to a parking lot, Target, Costco, whatever. Just pull it into the lot, park next to whoever. You know, honestly, I leave the windows down pretty much all the time. I just take the keys with me. And
that's the nice thing. We got all these like nice parts, but unless you really know what you're looking at,
most people just think it's like a work truck, gardening truck, or whatever.
You can't tell, and that was kind of one of the things.
Unless you hear it.
Yeah, that's true. You can tell, like if you know like that exhaust note, you're like, okay, it's got some compression, it's got a cam.
Right.
It's got the cubic inches. And it's got chop, like Blue idles, like it's got a presence when it's idling around.
Yeah. You're not like not noticing when Blue fires up.
And like you don't really have to push Blue. That's a nice thing. It's riding that perfect balance of being able to just pull up on a car and hit the manual brakes and they stop just fine. But like it's drivable. You know, it's like it's got good handling, but it doesn't beat you up. It's got good manual brakes, but you don't have to like use all of your leg on it.
Right.
It's got power steering, it's got AC. The power band on this Blueprint 427, you can drive it around at low RPM. Like this thing from 1500 to 3000 RPM is manageable. You know, it's not like burning the tires off. It will if you just get up into the power band, but
it's literally as easy as just mashing that right pedal.
Yeah. That's an important thing in a car, is that it's versatile. You know, like it's not just focused on somebody who's a race car driver. You know, it does good things, makes everyone happy. That was our goal. You know, the shop truck has to be usable, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna have a parts getter, you got to be able to be like, toss the keys to somebody, be like, hey, go pick up these parts, right? I mean, there's no sense in having a great parts truck if only 2 people can drive it.
Exactly. But yeah, it was one of those things. Me and Jeremy went for a ride. I don't even think we have footage of it, but this thing got all out of shape. Just from a stoplight, and we're like, what have we done? You know, like what have we done here?
Right.
But today it appears we've arrived at our destination. Should have thrown the beach cruisers in the bed.
Right, and just cruised.
That's the nice thing. The bed gets used on Blue.
I mean, it's nice, but it's not too nice.
It's not too nice.
You know?
So it's just everything about Blue is like, it's like an old pair of jeans. It's like your go-to.
It's comfortable, and you're not afraid like, oh darn, I spilled some coffee on these.
All right.
That was it.
Incredible. Honestly, almost like just a cruise today. Boring drive almost with a high performance truck that you just go cruising to the beach. But it's amazing to have a vehicle that has all those capabilities, and that was kind of our goal with Blue. It's quintessential Restomod. That was our goal, is to really explore what that means to us. And Blue has achieved that, and it's a workhorse.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's a 69 Stepside GMC. It looks like that, but underneath it's a full-on race car, but it's a race car that you can just drive around. You can take it to Costco, you can take it to Target, you can take it to the beach, take it to the roller coaster, whatever you want, or you pull up to a stoplight and you feel like getting after it, you can also do that. So it's just really capable, really versatile, but still looks and feels like a 55-year-old truck.
Correct, yeah. This was like how you would build your personal truck, just taking every aspect of it to the next level, little by little. And it's just
Well, we did that because it is our personal truck.
Just a really good combo of we're having fun, but we're also in R&D on some of these parts, right?
We're working.
We're working.
Yeah, absolutely. So let us know what you guys think of blue in the comments. If you have any other ideas of the next thing we should do when we're working on blue,
Right.
Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, what do you always say?
Keep having fun with cars.
God damn, we're good actors. Like really good actors.